you are joining us from a mobile device, please be advised we are sharing the presentation, so you may need to adjust your viewing modes on your phone. And we will have allotted time at the end for Q&A. However, feel free to enter your questions into the chat as you wish, and we will address those at the end of the presentation. Another thing, we ask that you all mute your microphone so that it will not interfere with the presenters. And Tanya, if you could go ahead and ensure we're we're recording. Wonderful. Oh, wonderful. Okay, now to get started. Let me introduce myself. My name is Yvonne Garcia. I'm the program manager for the Community Solution Education System with our Global Engagement Department. And I'm here supporting all of our amazing system initiatives, including the one which is our purpose of joining today, our Education Beyond Borders. From selection of our fabulous destination, of Seoul, South Korea, all the way to Seoul and back to the US, I am here for support. Our team has spent hours upon hours building and continuing to build this amazing program that we hope you will all join us for in March. I will now invite my colleague, Dr. Luann Fortune, our instructor for EBB 2025, to briefly introduce herself, her organization, and the role she plays in EBB.
Thank you, Yvonne. I am delighted to be here with you today. I'll tell you a little bit more about me and my background later on, but I am a full professor at Saybrook University. I'm in my 13th year at Saybrook, and I have been honored to be part of Education Beyond Borders before and to collaborate with my colleagues across the community solution. I'll tell you more about me and the curriculum that I am customizing for you in a little bit. Thank you.
Thank you. And Ms. Tanya Sadowski.
Hi, everybody. My name is Tanya Sadowski. Welcome to today's information session. I am one of the wonderful program coordinators for the Community Solution Education System Global Engagement Department, diligently working to make this program as amazing and wonderful for all of our participants as possible. I just really quickly wanted to introduce my counterpart, our other program coordinator who's been working with myself and Yvonne on this program, Hannah Moss. She is here. She will be dropping things in the chat so you know who she is. So anything from Hannah Moss, that's our team. And I will hand it back over to Yvonne.
Wonderful. Thank you. Thank you all. We see that we are also joined by many others individuals in our global engagement team. I see you all. Thank you for joining us. And we are overjoyed to be also joined by our financial aid team members and others at the institution and system level. So thank you all for joining us. Really appreciate you all being here with us today. Okay, so what is EBB and why should you join us for Education Beyond Borders in Seoul? So EBB is a study abroad program. The Community Solution Education System is inviting all eligible participants in the TCS community to come together to join us and embark on an unforgettable journey through this biannual study abroad experience. This initiative aims to provide students with a chance to engage in a program that truly is on a global scope. So what's in it for you? By participating in EBB, you'll become a global citizen through immersive exposure to Korean culture. You're going to be able to develop cross-cultural communication skills through hands-on experience. You're going to be able to gain global awareness and broaden your perspective. You're going to be able to enhance your foreign language abilities and build and experience many other vital skills that Dr. Fortune will elaborate on shortly. These experiences are invaluable in both the academic and professional settings, preparing you for future challenges that require a global mindset and cross-cultural understanding. We are all committed to adding a global dimension to your education. So that's what EBB is. So studying abroad is more than just a trip. It's a chance to experience through education in a new way of living and learning that will broaden your worldview and prepare you for life beyond and without borders. So we encourage you to keep an open mind while you're with us here and fully embrace this opportunity that's being given to you. So in this information session, again, we want to provide you with some important information about EBB and studying abroad. While there's so much more to learn and understand about the program, we'll focus on a few crucial points to help you understand if and how EBB can fit into your academic journey. First, you must be a student from the participating institutions within the Community Solution colleges and universities. Those are the Chicago School, Pacific Oaks College, University of Western States, Saybrook University, and the Colleges of Law. So I'm interested in where everyone is coming from. If you don't mind, and if you want to share, if you want to drop in the chat where you are from. Are you from the Chicago School, the University of Western States, Colleges of Law, Pacific Oaks College, or are you from Saybrook? Go ahead and drop that into the chat if you want to share. I see a lot of messages popping up. That's awesome. Tanya, do you want to go ahead and read some of those that are popping up?
Absolutely. I'm actually seeing people from all of the schools. So Chicago School is here, Colleges of Law is here, University of Western States is here, Saybrook is here, Dr. Fortune, and Pacific Oaks. Yeah, every college in our system is represented. It's really great to see you all. Thank you all for being here. Very excited.
Yay, that's wonderful. That's exactly what we wanted to see. So back to the requirements. All applicants must be 21 years of age or older at the time of the application submission. You must be an active student in your program, and we encourage you to discuss your participation with your advisor, degree plan counselor, faculty advisor, whoever's helping you pursue your education at your institution to ensure that it aligns with your academic path. All applicants must be in good academic and financial standing. Those are big key components, but there are additional requirements that you'll need to review. So for the full list of criteria, you'll be directed to our portal in just a few moments, and Tanya's going to be able to share some more information with you in just a few moments on that. So again, why South Korea? So when we were looking at a destination, we figured, why not South Korea? South Korea hit a lot of goals that we looked at for an ideal location, but three major goals and themes were focused on when we chose this ideal destination for you: bridging healthcare, technology, and cultural horizons. So when I mentioned those three goals that we were looking at, bridging healthcare, listen, South Korea boasts one of the most advanced healthcare systems globally, offering participants a unique opportunity to explore cutting-edge medical innovations and best practices. Technology, South Korea is a technological powerhouse known for its leadership and innovation. Participants will engage in site visits to witness firsthand on how these innovations are driving the country's economic success. And cultural horizons. With its rich and vibrant traditions, South Korea offers a deep cultural experience. Participants will immerse themselves in the country's cultural heritage, gaining a profound understanding of its historical and modern influences. To expand on this a bit and talk about the programming that awaits for you, I'll pass it off to Ms. Tanya.
Thank you so much, Yvonne. So we have a very exciting itinerary and program ready for you all. Just want to give you a bit of an insight as to some of the things you can expect to participate in. Everything from global historical sites, as Yvonne mentioned, South Korea, obviously, historically and globally, very, you know, they are it. They have it. And we also will include a service learning component. So you'll be really getting hands-on and, you know, having a service component to this experience. So a little bit about the upcoming itinerary. Yvonne, next slide, please. So these are just some things that you can expect. Some of these are still being solidified, but to go over what you can expect, we will have a welcome dinner and orientation when you arrive in South Korea, just so that we can touch base, make sure everybody knows what the expectations are, and to meet each other and, to start to get to know one another. We will have a technology-themed site. We're hoping to either get that to be the Samsung Innovation Museum or LG Electronics, as they are both just pioneers in electronics globally. We are also hoping to get into some of the more pop culture and cultural aspects and entertainment aspects of South Korea with a visit to either JTBC, KBS One, I think, or Union Pictures. We are going to have, I'm excited about this, a Korean cooking class experience where you will actually be cooking traditional Korean foods. We will be going to, I don't speak Korean, so please forgive me if I butcher those names, Bojawan's Oriental Medicine Experience in Seoul's K-Medi Center. There will be a temple tour. South Korea has, as you know, a lot of temples. We will be visiting a temple. And of course, you will have free time so that you can go out and explore and really get to know Seoul, South Korea after you have, taken all these trips with us. Next slide. So as I mentioned, a couple of the things, a university, you will be exploring the dynamics of a Korean university and a village exploration with a walk to Bukchon Hanok village, which is rich in traditional Korean architecture. I mentioned that there will be a service learning component. We are looking, again, for a hands-on community service project, hoping to either visit with North Korean refugees or an orphanage. And then we will be visiting and touring the demilitarized zone, otherwise known as the DMZ. That site was established to serve as a buffer zone between the countries of North Korea and South Korea. During this tour, you're going to learn about the history of North and South Korea by visiting their Bridge of Freedom, the third infiltration tunnel without monorail, the Dora Observatory, and on and on and on. It's going to be a wonderful tour and a site visit. That is going to be in the morning, and then after the visit, you will actually be having lunch. We will have a lunch at a local farm restaurant, so you again can be, experience and immerse yourself in the traditional Korean food and that part of being in South Korea. And I now will hand it over to our wonderful faculty lead, Dr. Luann Fortune. Dr. Fortune.
Thank you, Tanya. And I am again so glad to be with you. Again, I'm from Saybrook University, where I'm in my 13th year as a professor, and I'm also the Associate Department Chair for Mind-Body Medicine. But our program, the program I come from, is an interdisciplinary program, which makes me very interested in how to approach the curriculum. So I have the opportunity to customize the curriculum to suit the needs of the affiliate partners. All of you who will be participating come to this from different experiences. So I have an experiential pedagogy in my approach, but I also invoke something called andragogy, which believes that you all have a wealth of life experience and knowledge that you bring forward. And in the process of exploring the content of this course, we will also have the opportunity to build bonds together. I have seen that happen in many times in cases. I'm a lifelong educator. I'm also a personal advocate for holistic health. I am a scholar practitioner. In addition to being a PhD, I'm also a licensed body worker. So I've been a board certified massage therapist for over 30 years, which informs my perspective of health and wellness as a holistic system. So my personal interests are in wellness and integrative medicine and how things are interconnected. So in particular, the social determinants of health play a role in this course and the way that I am putting together the curriculum for us going forward. In addition to that, I see myself as a global citizen. I've visited over 50 countries. I have taken groups to different places throughout the world. I have friends and relatives who live in faraway places. I've been to 48 of the US states, and I am looking forward to learning from you along the way. Thank you. Next slide, please. I want to tell you a little bit about the course that we're putting together. So when I was invited to develop the curriculum and to lead this journey, I became very excited because South Korea is at the forefront right now of current events, and it plays an important role in contemporary geopolitical and cultural movements throughout all of the countries on this planet. And in looking at its history, it also has a rich history. So we will consider all of those things in going forward. Our course will be embedded in informed knowledge to support the immersion that we'll do when we're actually in South Korea. So we'll have 5 weeks together in a Canvas course, working together online to explore the sectors of how South Korea emerged to be a major economic power. It is now the 3rd economic power in all of Asia, behind China and Japan. It had also been a leader in global technology since, as we pointed out earlier, Samsung, LG Technologies, and other companies that are based in South Korea are leading movements across the globe in artificial intelligence, in technology, and also informing other sectors of South Korean as well as international society. So their global technology movement is also demonstrated in popular culture. And I can, now that I'm watching for it, barely turn around anywhere without seeing something that references, which is a fusion of art and music and entertainment. So in the first few weeks of our online experience, we're going to be exploring the contemporary forces as well as the scholarly literature that give us a background of understanding what is going on in South Korea from an economic perspective, coming from the development as a technology leader. How does that intersect with the pop culture movements that make it so lucrative today? And how has it moved forward in that way to then inform the health and wellness of South Korea, and by extension, influence movements throughout the world? So what I'm finding is there is a nexus of technology, innovation, and artistic expression that connects personal health as well as collective wellness. So I am bringing my interest in the social determinants of health to frame this course. So no matter which one of the institutions you're coming from, you will find a corner where we can come together and see how these things combine. So I anticipate an exciting space for academic inquiry at a high scholarly level, but also the experience, the personal learning, which can only be accomplished by being there. And through that, at the end of the course, we'll be coming back. So the immersion week actually takes place after a time in Canvas where we can delve into the literature, explore the background, communicate, prepare ourselves, and then immerse ourselves in it, and then come back and synthesize to better understand the social determinants of health from everything we've seen, and also what our learning has been. So there will be a signature project at the end of the course, and everybody gets to participate. So I also look forward to answering any questions about the course. It is being customized for you based on contemporary influences, things that are going on in South Korea right now today. Thank you. Yeah. Thanks.
Thank you. So we so appreciate you sharing all of that information. I'm excited about it, super excited about it. So as Dr. Fortune mentioned, those are the student takeaways. And so again, you will all be receiving a copy of the presentation. So we are excited about that. So let's go ahead and go on. So some important dates that everybody needs to know. The application deadline. It is fast approaching, November 22nd, 2024. It's 4 weeks away. So start looking. We're going to show you in just a few moments the portal to where you can get more information. And definitely we're here to answer any questions. And travel dates. Travel dates are important. March 30th through April the 5th. 2025. Again, we are just 4 weeks away from the deadline. So definitely absorb everything that you need to, that you want to know, ask the questions. And we are also going to be dropping in the chat our emails. So that way, if you think of any questions afterwards, just feel free to message us, connect with us. We're here to answer any questions that you may have. To push out that doubt of, hey, is this for me? Yes, definitely. We're going to customize it to everybody. So just some more important information as far as the program fees. The program cost is $2,933. What this includes is listed on this slide, the hotel accommodations for double occupancy. Single occupancy is available upon request. However, it is a slight higher rate. Select meals, transportation to program location. So all those events, those fabulous events that we're going to be visiting, transportation is already arranged for that. A program facilitator, supplemental travel insurance, pre-departure coordination, and educational program content. And all those cultural immersion activities. So that is what's included. What's not included, the big ones are the round trip flight to and from, and airport pickup and drop off, and incidentals. So we will, again, be answering questions at the end, or if you want to go ahead and start dropping those questions in the chat, feel free to go ahead and add them in there. We may address it in just a few moments in the rest of this presentation, but feel free to drop it in there so we can go ahead and address it again at the end. So we'll go ahead and...
Sorry, I'll take it.
Great.
So now that you've heard how much it's going to cost, can financial aid help cover the cost of education beyond borders? Yes, we actually do have one of our financial aid specialists here with us who during the Q&A session is here to answer any questions you have about financial aid. Her name, we forgot to introduce her earlier, is Danielle Spinozzi Virgo. She will be here. She is here and will be answering any financial aid questions you may have during the Q&A session at the end of this presentation. But for now, what you need in order to be potentially having your financial aid cover the cost of education beyond borders. You do need to discuss any course substitutions necessary with your department chair or academic advisor if required. You need to be enrolled at least half-time in your particular program and meeting satisfactory academic progress, or SAP. If you are eligible, your financial aid could cover your international program fee, the tuition, the flight expenses, and any miscellaneous expenses that you might incur for this program. Please contact your financial aid office. We do have a specialist here, but please always contact your specific financial aid office as well if you have any questions about your eligibility and deadlines for your school and your program. And I believe, yes, my colleague Hannah just put in the chat the email addresses for all of our schools' financial aid offices, so you can reach out to them directly if you have questions after our presentation is over. Okay, next slide. Okay, so we're going to stop sharing. Yvonne's going to stop sharing in a moment. I'm going to walk you through how to apply for the program. It is through our global portal. You must submit a deposit before the deadline. So the application deadline is November 22nd, so 4 weeks away. There is a $500 application fee. That is a non-refundable fee, but it does go towards the overall program costs. So when you submit your application, you will need to pay the $500 deposit fee in order for your application to be sort of complete. By November 22nd, you will also have, on November 22nd, there's an additional $500 deposit that is potentially refundable at the end. So basically, breaking it down, by November 22nd, if you are interested in coming to this program, you need to fill out the application and pay 2 deposits, one $500 application fee and another $500 deposit. So for a total of $1,000. All of that, again, goes towards your program fee for this course. And of course, you have to register for the course and the program travel. So now, Yvonne, if you want to stop sharing, I would love to show everybody how to get to the application. So the first thing you're going to want to do is go to our portal. So this is the portal. Hannah, if you could drop the link to this in the chat for everybody, that would be great. There are actually 2 ways you can access the application or the brochure or the information. Right here at the top where it says Education Beyond Borders 2025 Open Now, more info, you click on that, it takes you straight to the brochure where the application can be found. Or because you are all students, you can also come to the student side, and at the very bottom of the drop-down menu, there is an Education Beyond Borders option. You click on that and it takes you to what we refer to as our brochure. So this is the brochure. This is where you're going to get a lot of information and additional information for you to review on this experience. If you scroll down, you'll get a little bit of an overview that we've talked about today, what Education Beyond Borders is, why South Korea, the program overview, objectives. You have the email address for Dr. Fortune here if you want to contact her directly. We have today's information session on here. We have 2 additional information sessions coming up. We'll give you those dates in just a moment, but they will also be posted on here after today's session. And then it does have deadlines on here. So your application deadline, again, is November 22nd, 2024. If you scroll to the top, we're gonna hit the apply now in a second, but I want to show you these other tabs that are up here. Under coursework, you will find the title of the course and the course number that relates to Education Beyond Borders. Any additional information, this is where you want to really look at and see what the payment schedule is. So I mentioned that there is a $500 deposit due with application. That deposit will be applied to your total program fee of $29.33. There is an additional deposit due, another $500 due by November 22nd, which is the application deadline. That is a $500 additional deposit if you've already paid the application fee of $500. If you just apply on the 22nd, the entirety of $1,000 deposit will be due at that time. And then the balance of the program is due January 30th. So at that point, you will know what your financial aid is covering. So that is the breakdown of the program. If you drop the course by December 22nd, you will receive a partial refund of $500. That's that second deposit due. The application fee, if you drop the program, that $500 application fee is non-refundable. And if you go to application process, it tells you there that there is a non-refundable $500 deposit due. And again, here's our email address. This comes to the Global Engagement Department. That is myself, Yvonne, and Hannah and other people, but we check the email. So if you have any questions at all, please reach out to us. So now, how to apply? You click on this Apply Now button. You're going to select the term. There's only one option. It is Spring 2, 2025. Select Continue. And this takes you to the application. You would want to click Get Started. And then these are the things that you need to submit as part of your application to be considered going to this program. You have to have a passport requirement. It literally asks you if you have a passport. It doesn't ask any information about your passport, just do you have one? Do you have the vaccinations for your destination? Are you in academic good standing? All of these pretty much are you just signing and saying, yes, 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 say yes. And then here are the deposits. Your application will not be considered if by November 22nd, you do not have these first 2 deposits in, because those are the $500 application deposit and then the second $500 deposit. Once you submit all of these, you will have your application in the system. You can start your application, we can see it, but it will not be accepted until all of this information is filled in and these 2 initial deposits are made by November 22nd. So that's it. It's pretty straightforward. I know Hannah did drop the link in the chat to the portal. So if anybody has any questions, or if you forget the link, email us at engage@tcsedsystem.edu and we can get you to the link. I'm going to stop sharing, and I believe we are moving on to the question and answer part. So if there are any questions, please feel free. Or Yvonne, should I go through the chat and see what we have?
Yes, definitely. So I know we went through a lot of information fairly quickly, but we definitely want to reserve as much time. You know, we kind of rushed through a lot of these things. We want to reserve enough time for you all to ask the questions, address any questions related to the coursework or the program itself, or when I can sign up, where Tanya went through the whole application. So hopefully that clears up a lot of the questions that we may or may not have, but definitely, you know, please type your questions in the chat. We see them coming through. We're going to try to address as many as we can. Again, we have financial aid here. Thank you so much, Danielle, for taking the time to join us, and everyone being here to join us. I do also want to add in, before we start on the Q&A, we will be having 2 more info sessions that you may have seen the monitors at your campuses or emails. Please, if you are still kind of on the fence and have more questions, join us back on November the 7th at 3 p.m. or our last info session on November 21st at noon. So be on the lookout for future information sessions, and you never know, we may have new upcoming guests. We don't know. We're going to, you know, just try to mix it up a little bit. So that way you're able to get a little bit more information. And again, you will be receiving the recording. So let's go ahead and go over to the questions. Tanya, if you want to go ahead and start.
Sure. There were definitely some questions. They have been answered in the chat, but for recording purposes, I'm just going to read some of them and the answers for anybody who is not able to join us today. So the first question that I see is, do we need to have an open elective for this? Check with your program chair or your faculty advisor to see how this course can fit into your program plan. It may be an elective, or it could qualify under some other category or requirement. You definitely want to check with your program chair or your advisor. So another question, this is a good one. How can we navigate the areas in South Korea, such as interpreters, hosts, roommates, schedules, all of that? We will have a team of people in South Korea. We do also have a team that we are working with who is actually creating the itinerary and the site visits for you. So we will have, you know, Korean speakers there to help you and guide you, and traveling during EBB, which is Education Beyond Borders. Is there a deposit due? We touched on that, but again, there's a $500 application fee due at the time of application, and then an additional $500 due by November 22nd. So for a total of $1,000. And then the program fee, the final payment of $1,933 is due. I think it was January 30th. I do want to make a note, we didn't touch on this. The program fee of $2,933, that could actually go down depending on the number of participants. So sign up, tell your friends to sign up, get people to sign up. The more people that sign up, the lower that fee goes. Do I need to check eligibility with my school before applying? Is there a refund deadline if eligibility is not confirmed? I talked about all of that. Yes, please check with your program, check with your school to make sure you are eligible to apply, because if you apply and pay that $500 deposit with your application, and then you find out that you are not eligible, you lose that $500 deposit. So please do your due diligence, talk to your school, talk to your program chair to see if you are eligible for this program. And then, okay, what did you say the coursework looks like leading up to the trip itself? Dr. Fortune, I'm handing that one over to you. There was no answer.
Thank you. I'm just smiling because I'm so excited about it. I'm sort of immersed in it right now. So we'll be operating in Canvas, and there will be a couple synchronous video conferences where we can share conversation, discuss the materials. I'm blending in materials that I'm pulling from contemporary publications, including things like YouTube videos. And I'm setting it up in modules in Canvas. So the very first module will be looking at Korea, South Korea overall, its geography, its position in the world, its history, to give us a broader context. In the next module, we're going to take a deeper dive and look into the technology history and how it has evolved and also spurred the economic growth that we've seen in South Korea, which in turn intersects with healthcare, because South Korea has a national healthcare system and is doing some really innovative things with AI, as well as different technology assistance in the healthcare delivery system. In the next module, we're going to take a look at the K-wave and K-pop, and how that comes out of both technology and how culture in that way services our health and well-being. I'm going to use a social determinants of health framework going into the course, and that at that point, we're going to lead up into getting ready to go to actually experience firsthand. So we're going to take a whole module to take a look at what are the ethical considerations of travel abroad, of entering a different culture, of experiencing different customs, and to consider how we are going to be once we are immersed into the South Korean environment. And then we're going to be there. So we're going to spend some time traveling over. While we are in South Korea, I'm also building time into our time together and our activities to come back together on a regular basis, if not daily, every couple days, to debrief, to recap, and to reflect on what we've been experiencing while we're there. But then we get to come back, and instead of just finishing up the trip and ending it, we're going to have the opportunity to synthesize. So in the last couple weeks of the course, I want us to bring in all the elements that we have looked at in terms of the history, the technology, the K-pop movement, the popular culture, and the healthcare delivery system, and synthesize that into what we have learned and what we might be able to translate into our own fields of study, into our own experience, because all of those things, through an interdisciplinary lens, contribute to individual as well as collective health and well-being. And this gives us an opportunity to see how a culture all the way around the world, for most of us, has been enacting that and what we can learn from it. Are there particular questions that have come up around that?
Not yet. But we're going through the
Very
list.
well
Thank
said.
you. Yeah, thank you so much. The next question that I have on my list, great question. Which vaccinations are required for South Korea? One of our other colleagues from the Global Engagement Department, Dr. Ludmila Harath, did put a link to the CDC website for South Korea, so you can check what vaccinations are required. But also on the application in the global portal that I walked you through, on the vaccination status that you are required to answer, there are links there as well for you to check what vaccinations may be required in order to travel to South Korea. Also, we do hold, for everybody who's been confirmed to participate in this program, we do hold a health and safety orientation meeting approximately 45 to 60 days before travel, where we go over all of that, what vaccinations you need, visas, passports, all of that. So if you are committed to this program and you're enrolled in it, you will also be getting that information from us at a later date, but always check on the vaccinations that you may need ahead of time so you are prepared. Next question. Is it correct that course participation earns 3 elective credits for the colleges of law? Very specific, we don't know. Please talk to the dean at the colleges of law so that they can tell you what you may or may not be getting credit for. And that goes across the board for any of our schools. Please check with your department or your dean or chair or faculty advisor on what you might earn in terms of credit and what for. Is there a maximum number of students? Right now, there is not. We do not have a cap on how many can come. So the more the merrier. And again, the less expensive it is.
Yeah. So invite your friends, invite your classmates, tell them to come to the next session with you.
Yes.
So you can have that little community with you before you go. But if you decide to go on your own and you don't know anybody, it's going to be an amazing experience still. You're going to learn so much about everyone across all of our system campuses. So,
and does the $500 application fee guarantee a space for me in the program? Yes, as long as you have met all of the other eligibility that Yvonne talked about earlier to take part in the program, and you complete all of the payments, right? We need all the payments for you. But yes, it does, it holds your space, it holds your application there. So yes, you will be counted for that. Ooh, what does a typical day look like? I don't think there is going to be a typical day in this. We will have each day that you are on ground in Seoul is going to bring a different experience. Whether it is walking through the local markets, whether it's visiting the DMZ, going to a temple, we are spacing it out so each day you have a unique and engaging experience. And there will be free time at the end of each day for you to connect with each other, talk about what you saw, what you learned, go out and explore. So there is no typical day, which is going to be super amazing, I think, so that every day you're going to wake up with something new to experience and learn from. Okay. Oh, okay. This is a good one. My apologies if this was covered already. How long is this program? And will we be in South Korea for the duration of the program? I know, well, okay, so I can answer part of that, like the duration of the program. So so you've got the course that Dr. Fortune is teaching, and that is, I don't know the exact dates, but I think from like, do you have the exact dates, Dr. Fortune?
I'm looking up the dates now, but it's 8 weeks. It's 8 weeks. It corresponds with spring term B. And I think we're almost all on the same calendar, but I'll get to the exact dates and I'll put them into the chat box. It's a real course. It's an actual course.
It is a course, and so it is an online course. I think that's the thing. So wherever you are in the world, if you are enrolled in this course, it is an online course for 8 weeks. About 5 weeks into that course or so is when the travel part to Seoul takes place. So for that week from May 30th until April 5th, that is when you will be on ground in Seoul, South Korea. The rest of the time you will be wherever you are in an online course together. I hope that answers that question.
I think that does.
Okay. Okay. Oh, somebody says vaccination, as far as they know, there's no vaccination needed since 2023, but always check on that. Great question here. While in South Korea, are we required to attend all of the program activities? Yes. Yes, we are putting these things together to correspond with what Dr. Fortune is going to be teaching you and what you're going to be learning in the course. Yes, if you are coming on the travel portion, you have to participate in all of the events. And likewise, you cannot go to Seoul if you are not enrolled in the course. They go together. So you cannot just sign up for the travel portion and not the course. It is it's a combo deal. You have to take the course and travel. So if you do that, then great. Okay. The spring 2 dates. So this is when the course will be. The online course is going to be from March 3rd until April 27th. So that's the online course. And then the travel portion will be March 30th until April 5th, which, as Dr. Fortune mentioned a few times, gives you the opportunity to come back, synthesize, process, and talk about what you learned while on ground.
And thank you, Dr. Fortune. She did include those course dates in the chat. They are March 3rd through April the 27th.
Another great question. Can spouses attend this trip? Great question. Unfortunately, no. They cannot attend during the program just per policy. However, spouses can join before the program or after the program. So if you want to go early or if you want to stay late, you're still responsible for the online coursework, but your spouse can come. That being said, you would then be responsible for any payments or extensions to the hotel, airfare, all of that. If you have any questions about this, Ludmi has graciously shared her email address for any questions about that. It's lherath, LHERATH at tcsedsystem.edu. Ludmi put in the chat, so it's out there. But also, really honestly, you can email us, our entire team, and engage at tcsedsystem.edu with any of those questions. But as of right now, no. Okay, after I apply, how do I register for the course? I'm not familiar with that process. So I'm on.
So that varies based on your institution. So let's get you signed up, and then you will, once you are signed up, you are going to get follow-up information with these particular details on what you need to do next. So I hope that answers the question.
Excellent.
So they did put some information on the COVID vaccination was only needed between 2020 and 2023, since May 23 that the vaccination has gone. That is with a lot of countries. Nicholas did put another question in. Are we free to dine wherever for dinner, or does the program include organizer group meals? When we presented the screen, it did show that some meals are included. It is mostly breakfast. So dinner, dining in nightlife, yeah, definitely. You're going to be encouraged to dine wherever you would like. Most likely you will be able to connect with some of your classmates, and you all may be joining for dinner together. But definitely, if you want to go out and explore, that's going to be possible. So let me see.
So I think the next one was.
So again, we did.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, that's okay. What are the living arrangements like? So that is going to be in a hotel. The hotel accommodations are included. It is it is double occupancy. Single is a bit more expensive, but definitely if you want to email us at engage@tcsedsystem.edu, the email is in the chat. Just feel free to drop us a message, and we will give you that information. And another question is, are we able to use financial aid for this course? So thank goodness, Danielle, now's your time to shine. Is there anything else that you want to add in regards to financial aid?
The only thing I really want to add in is that if you are doing a request for supplemental funds, which a lot of students do to receive additional costs to help pay for this program, do not wait to do it until the last minute. There is a approval process that takes time. And what we don't want is you to go ahead and submit all the documents a week and a half before your trip and then be scrambling, not having the money you need to go. So that's the only thing I'm going to say. If you're really interested, reach out and have a conversation with us. We can provide you with a list of all the documentation needed, and the earlier the better to get it done.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for that insight. So we did have another question. Will we have opportunities to meet and immerse with South Korean students? So we are actually working on a site visit with a university. So you will be able to South Korean students. So we are really excited about that. Again, our team has spent hours upon hours designing this program, fine-tuning and customizing it to how we would want to immerse ourselves and look at every aspect of the South Korean culture and just the whole country in general. So we're trying to build that now, but that is definitely something that will be in the itinerary, is visiting a university in South Korea.
And I think there is one other question. Will it be possible to stay somewhere else other than a hotel?
And that is no. So the hotel fee is included and Dr. Harris just included it in since this is a study abroad program through your institution, we are not able to allow anyone to stay anywhere else. So we've got to ensure the safety of all of our students. And again, the accommodations, the fee does include the accommodations, the transportation. So, unfortunately, we can't tear that apart or disjoin that in any way. So these are great questions. We really appreciate it. Again, you will be receiving the recording. I think it's either today or sometime in the morning that you will all receive the recording. Even your friends that maybe signed up and weren't able to join us are still going to be receiving the recording. So make sure that, again, if you're really interested in, and maybe you have a couple more questions or you maybe missed something, come back to join us on November the 7th at 3 p.m. Central Standard Time, or on November the 21st at noon. So those are going to be our next info sessions. You can join more than one info session. You don't have to just limit it to this one. We are definitely going to hopefully have more information and be able to ask other questions or answer other questions. So definitely, these are great questions. Again, if you think of anything afterwards, feel free to email one of us or all of us. We don't mind if you email all of us. It's fine. But we are all committed to adding a global dimension to your education. And we really do hope you all plan to join us. We want to make this as much of a rewarding experience to everyone. So we are just here planning and hoping that you all are able to join us. Did we miss any other questions, Tanya?
There is one final question, and this is actually a really good one. If we really want to go, but are not offered financial aid, if we need support to go, is there a program for students to receive support to go? We do have an answer to that. Again, very good question. Unfortunately, the Community Solution Education System does not have any allocated scholarships and funding at this moment, but feel free to reach out to your institution, whatever school that you attend, and their financial aid office there, and see if there are any additional funding options or support. There might be some external scholarships that can support your study abroad program or anything like that. So definitely check with your institution and look for any maybe study abroad scholarships. You can also email us at engage@tcsedSystem.edu for any other help or assistance that we might be able to provide you. So yeah. And I think that's the last question.
Yes, and a follow-up question that was asked was, are there any interpreters needed for this trip? Kate, I appreciate you generously volunteering to be that interpreter. But that's a great question. So we have a whole team in South Korea that is going to be working with us on the ground in South Korea to help us navigate that. And I definitely still hope you participate and join us in South Korea. So it's a great question. That's actually a question that came up last time also. So any other questions? I know we're coming in, wrapping up the hour, but definitely we are so glad that we kind of rushed through that first part of the session, because these past 30 minutes has been so many great questions that we were able to answer. And hopefully, you will leave as excited as we are. Okay, I think the questions are ending. So we are going to go ahead and wrap it up. We will stay back for another 2 minutes in case you all have any other questions, but we hope you all have a amazing, wonderful day and absorb this information when you get it in your email box.
Thank you, everybody. Great work, team. Good job.